officially yesterday. Kap, that'll be all for Garrett Crochet and the Chicago White Sox. We knew it was going to happen. We knew that Crochet would be dealt. We just didn't know what team. But if you're wondering, Sox fans, this morning.
Any Sox news?
Absolutely, there's Sox news. Garrett Crochet now with the Red Sox. And Garrett Crochet was traded for 4 prospects in the top 100. At any measure, any website, when you look at the minor league talent, the Sox were able to get 4 of the top 100.
Yep, they made the deal, and whatever his name is, Ryan Peel, Kyle Teal, doesn't matter.
Ryan Peel.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter.
They traded him for Key and Peel. As a matter of fact, go ahead.
Braden, Montgomery Wards. It does not matter what they got back.
Got Babe Winkleman Gonzalez, too. Did you see that?
Correct.
Fisherman and also married.
Yeah, what is that dude's
To
name?
Latina.
What is the...
Dr. Quinn and Medicine Woman also returning in the trade.
Babe Winkleman Gonzalez.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
let me just say this again. The state of professional sports in the major teams. Please don't at me about the Sky or the Reds. This is not a shot at them. I'm talking about the Bears, Bulls, Cubs, Sox, Blackhawks.
Uh-oh.
Anytime Jed wants to get off his hands and get something done, that'd be nice. Chris Getz did what he had to do. I don't know if Orange Peel is going to be a good player.
All right.
I don't know. He's 18 or 19 years old.
Damn.
I'm hoping I'm alive and healthy when he gets to the big leagues. And for the people out there going, we got a better return now than we did for Chris Sale. No, you didn't. Michael Kopech, according to Peter Gammons, who covers the Red Sox and has for 700 years, said Michael Kopech's going to win multiple Cy Youngs. That didn't quite work out, but he did pitch well as a Dodger in the bullpen. Yohan Moncada was the number 1 ranked player in the minors. Number 1. And you got 2 other players who didn't make it. This is a necessary evil because ownership in this town sucks. Sucks. You're in your car right now. You're shivering. You're going to work. You're trying to put food on the table. Have a little fun in your life. And you got the Cubs haven't done anything, and we got to move payroll to be able to go get somebody else. Pathetic. And the Bears, pathetic ownership. Pathetic. That's just a fact. Your chairman of the board, he's been there since 2011. He's got 0 playoff wins and does nothing to fix it except settle. The Bulls, the White Sox, pathetic, the ownership. The Blackhawks, irrelevant. That's the state of sports in this town. It should make you puke.
Choke on that, baby.
And the fact that I'm a diehard and I watch every White Sox game, oh, I got the antenna, so I can watch the Bulls and the Blackhawks who stink because ownership doesn't give a good blankety blank. They don't. So whether Kyle Peel, what's his name?
Kyle Teal.
Kyle Teal.
Now I don't even know. You've thrown me off.
Kyle Teal, Braden Montgomery, Babe Winkleman. It does not matter. We suck in this town, and we settle for it. It's sickening.
Well, here's the difference between you and I. Here's the difference. As we broke down the Cubs yesterday, I kept telling you, Kap, you need to be able to have a difference maker offensively. You've got the money to spend.
Yes.
You've got multiple revenue streams. You're not the Tribune company that you grew up with. You're not Wrigley Gum Company where you do everything on the cheap. It's a different day for the Chicago Cubs in 2024. We should not be trying to figure out, well, what can they scratch from the middle to the bottom shelf to try to piecemeal the rest of this roster together. That should not be the conversation. The conversation about Chicago Cubs baseball should be, where are they? Can they get as close to the top shelf as possible to find starting pitching and offense to solidify, not battle, to solidify the National League Central, to solidify your opportunity to get to the playoffs. And we're trying to figure out who's in the middle to the bottom shelf to try to get there. Now, here's the difference between that conversation and today's conversation. I'm a Southsider. I'm a Chicago White Sox fan. I've got no hope. At least you have a glimmer. You can see it through the tunnel, Kap. Look at that light. You see the light? You see
it?
It's there. The light's there.
Based
Based on what you have, the light's there. I've got no light. I got no tunnel. I got no train. That's the difference between you and I. You understand that, right?
Yes. And what did I say to you when I was in the studio here with you? You walked in, and I said, well, of all the teams, at least my team, the Cubbies, I'm trying to go from 83 to 90 and get in the tournament. Possible. Get Kyle Tucker. Maybe get the mothballs off the ATM card from Mr. Ricketts' wallet, and we can go get a starting pitcher to add to it. Tweak the bullpen. Okay. In that crappy division with nobody spending, you should take a stranglehold.
Okay, where am I trying to get to, Cap?
You're trying to catch the A's.
That's what it is.
And Hoodie said to me, this is not a lie. I said, sounds like, I don't know Kyle Teal or any of these guys. And nobody does because they're 18, 19 years old. Hoodie says to me, I said, maybe you made a decent deal here. It looks like these guys are highly. He goes, yeah, and when they get any semblance of being decent, we'll trade them.
That's my reality as a White Sox fan.
And I said, what are you, Oakland? Yes.
Exactly right. So you see the difference?
Yeah.
The conversation's different today is because, unfortunately, I will not be able to see these players at their apex long-term with the White Sox. That's me as a White Sox. That's for any White Sox fan. Reality is, it's sad that we got to talk about prospects instead of real free agency and being a contender. That's the difference between Kap and I. Getz has an opportunity to try to build this thing into his own image, and rightfully so. He's just doing it at the behest of the owner. The owner says, let's strip it all down. And by the way, at some point, it'll be Shea breaking in the show with breaking news, and Luis Roberts going to be traded. That'll be next. And so
and
now,
maybe today.
Yeah, maybe he'll break in. Hopefully it happens on this show so that way we can talk about it. But here's the bottom line, Cap. I've got no hope. There's nothing against these four kids. I got nothing against them. It's just a byproduct of the Chicago White Sox not knowing how to win. The 05 championship, I'll never forget. I wish my dad was around to see that championship for as many times he took me to Old Comiskey. I'm sad that he didn't get a chance to see it. But it would have surprised him like everybody else that the Sox got a pop-up championship. Nobody had the White Sox winning, but I'm glad I was alive to see it. But that might be the only one I see under this ownership. If there's a different ownership, that means different life. That means different philosophy. That means it won't be the Sacramento A's. It won't be the Miami Marlins. It won't be a Chicago White Sox team that's the dregs of the baseball society.
Right.
I want the team to be successful, but doing it like this, there might be a player, might be two that come out of there. It's like, hey, you know what? These are cornerstones. But, Cap, the reality is that they might get up there as young stars, but when it comes to contract time, that'll be all. Selling off parts. How do I know? I'm a Sox fan. Is Dylan Cease on the team? The White Sox? Is Dylan Cease on the team?
He's a Padre.
Okay. Is Chris Sale on the team?
He's a Brave, and he just won the Cy Young.
Okay. I mean, go on and on and on of guys that were here, but when it comes to contract time, it's a bridge too far. So now this is what you deserve. Jerry Reinsdorf loves history of Major League Baseball. You're the worst in the modern era. There's some history for you. Put that plaque on your wall next to Willie Mays and Jackie Robinson. Put that up there, too, in your office.
41 and 121.
Yeah, put that up there. And this is the team where we sucked ass. Put that up there put that as a portrait on your wall.
I told you, a buddy of mine ran into Jerry. I told Hoodie this. A buddy of mine ran into Jerry one night. My buddy has season tickets. And he was still going to the games as bad as they were.
Yeah.
And he's running late from his office. And he meets his wife outside by it's not a statue, but you know where that big wall of like memorializing a tribute to all these great White Sox players.
Yes.
Right on the corner, right in front of the entrance. And he sees Jerry, and Jerry knows him. He says, Jerry, where are you going? Forget something in the car? He goes, I ain't staying to watch this. He did his hobnobbing before the game. He had dinner, and he went home. I mean, come on.
Well, many Sox fans don't want to see it either.
Right.
If the owner didn't want to see it, why would fans want to go sit around and see it? This is why we were there for the last game, Cap. There was grumbling you remember, we were there, the last game of the regular season at guaranteed rate. Grumbling from the fans tailgating, but said, you know what? It's a nice day. Beer's cold. You know, we got some barbecue going here.
I went to a game, man. I had a good time.
We're just knowing that the summer's over. That's why we're sitting here.
Yes.
We got our chairs out, our Adirondack chairs, and we're just out there just kibitzing with everyone, talking about baseball, BSing each other, old stories, and then going in to watch a moribund Chicago White Sox team.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is. And so, again, I want to make sure it's clear that I'm not taking a crap on these 4 kids. I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is that this is a microcosm of what White Sox baseball is. You may see these kids, may not see these kids. Point is, though, is that we're going to be the worst team in baseball again. And Chris Getz, God bless him, he's doing what the owner wants him to do. But, again, we should not, in Chicago, Illinois, we should not be talking about starting over. Chicago? This is why this is the biggest small town from a sports standpoint that we'll ever find. The city of big shoulders, but small when it comes to the sports. Makes no sense. But this is me, and I can't let go because this is who I've been as a Southsider all my life. It's sad. You know, last year I had to go to the Padres because I wanted to see good baseball, and probably will do it again this upcoming season because that's BS. That makes no sense that we have to go through this.
Yeah, and you talked about that very eloquently, but in my world, it is a microcosm of the entire problem with sports in this city. Amazing fan base, passionate. What am I wearing today?
Chicago Bears gear.
Bears gear that I paid for. I didn't get this stuff free. I went and bought it. And I'm wearing my Bears gear. The team sucks. I have no idea if they can pick a head coach. I have no idea if the general manager and the team president get along, if the general manager privately would like to get away. I don't know, but it sucks. Oh, we got Caleb, everything's fixed. Yeah, not so much. And the guy's picking the coach. I don't know if it's my football brains, the football operation. Is it the team president, or is it the chairman of the board who, by his own admission, play it? I'm not a football evaluator. I'm just a fan. But I'm the guy that interviewed Matt Eberflus before we even hired Ryan Poles. Like, make it make sense to me.
I'm just a fan. I'm not a football evaluator.
Sports is a business of failure. Only one team is going to win every year. But the fact that you finish second or third or fourth, it doesn't mean you had a bad year. And I think the important thing to fans is while they want you to win championships, they want to know that when you get down to the last month of the season, you still have a shot. You're still playing meaningful games. If you can do that consistently, you'll make your fans happy.
Yeah, and guess what? You don't. The Bulls, a train wreck. Bunch of settlers in the front office. It will be good with the play-in. No, you guys stink. The Blackhawks, I've watched them go backwards. Oh, we get Connor Bedard, we're fixed. Yeah, not so much. It literally makes me sick. This is my hometown. This is where I grew up. I am a diehard Chicago sports fan. I got blessed that I get to do this for a living. Don't think I ever take it lightly that I get to walk in here. We have this great radio station, and I get to talk sports with you and everybody out there. But nobody wants to win. Nobody's committed in management. It's always about money. Please, Steve Cohen, rescue me.
Okay, well, it's also about being able to have some pride as an owner. You heard what Jerry Reinsdorf just said. As long as you put the bait on the hook, as long as you're hanging around in September, the fans will be happy. He said that out loud in an open microphone. I want you to think about what he said. Don't take it lightly what he said. That's a philosophy.
Correct. And now you do a deep dive, you can find it. George Steinbrenner, I've told this story before. Joe Girardi told me Steinbrenner would get every employee. You could be the janitor, you could be a concession, it had to be the full-time people. He said, we'd have this big meeting. They're all in there, hundreds. And George would get up and say, there are two things that we have as our goals every day here. Number one, the best customer service experience in professional sports. And number two is win the World Series. And if we fail in either one, the season was a failure.
Well, it should be.
He said they could go 162-0, losing the World Series, and it's a failure. I want an owner like that, please.
No, you have an owner that says second, third, and fourth is okay. As long as you're hanging around in September, the fans are fine.
It doesn't mean you had a bad season.
It's unbelievable. But saying that at an open microphone tells exactly what's on Jerry's mind. So the question we have on the table, Shay, we can open the phone lines here this morning. 312-332-ESPN. 332-3776 is our telephone number. We're going to hear from Chris Getz, the general manager of the Chicago White Sox, but also the White Sox trade Garrett Crochet. Was it the right decision or was it the wrong decision? We'll talk about that coming up next right here on Kap and J.